Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for everybody joining me today. Just going around doing a bit of maintenance, basically feeding and watering everything, because Lucy and I are going on our honeymoon as of tomorrow. So I just need to make sure that everything's watered, fed and maintained so they can survive while I'm away. And one of the ones I come across was in this little container here. I'm not sure if you can see from there. These little juice bottles that I put tiny holes at the bottom and at the top and on the lid as well, and it does absolutely brilliantly for the species inside, from tiny slings to grow them on to say a juvenile stage, like sling/juvenile. And there is a spider in there, which is that side, and it's still potentially another molt in there easily, maybe two, but I would never normally do that. But it is the Psalmopoeus Irminia, the Venezuelan Suntiger. Now, I just want to get it into something like this, a little bit bigger. As you've seen if you've watched any of the previous videos where I use these enclosures, the tarantulas tend to not web up too much on the glass. I've even got Psalmopoeus cambridgei, and they've both not webbed up on the glass, they've webbed up around in the middle, and it's really clear and I can see through. So trying to feed it in this, I can just take it straight off because it's got so used to me doing it. I can just open the lid, feed it, it runs up, grabs, goes back down, and I've got a little ink pot there which I use as a water dish, and I put a couple of droplets going down on the web just in case it doesn't want to come up and drink from the top. And it is done absolutely brilliantly, but I just thought once it gets to a certain size, it's going to be really hard to try and get that out of there. So at the minute, I could probably grab hold of the little bit of cork bark that I've put in there and just pull it on through. But the way this one lives is it was living in the soil, like fossorially. And when it gets to a certain size, I'd say it got to about 2 centimeters, nearly 3 centimeters, then it started staying out, and then it removed all the web, because all of this was cocooned in web. It removed it all, and they sort of excavate and make more room as they get bigger to the size of enclosure, so they just push out the webbing, and it's now literally removed all of the webbing, so I know it needs a bit more room, and then I should be able to see it out in the open. And I like these because I did have an adult female that I successfully paired, and she did well, and couple of, I think it was a year or so after that, she just perished. She was a sub-adult which was sold to me many years ago, so I had her for quite a few years and she did really well. But I called her Shakira, absolutely loved her, absolutely brilliant, and the colours were just really popping, especially after a molt. They were just so much more vibrant, but she demanded respect. There was times where Lucy and I would go to feed her, open up the enclosure as we do every day, and on this one particular day she just jumped straight out right at us. We had to jump back and then jumped on the floor and just started running towards us on the floor, and then I just cupped her and put her back in. And another time she was really placid, she would take off as calmly, but sometimes you'd go here and she would take off like say 50 times in a row, the food item straight off the edge, and then there's one time you'd go to her and she would just fly out. And I think I got used to the fact that I think it was due to when they go into a molt, they don't want no food, they get aggressive, they immediately slap, they want you to go away. So I've learned that that's what they do. But Psalmopoeus, I'm now finding they're all just really feisty. They're just naturally feisty, bit skittish as well. But P. Irminia definitely demands respect, but they're so stunning. They are absolutely beautiful. But what I've done is, when we did have the sack of babies, we got rid of them all. Gave them away, sold some away, but I've only ever kept one of these in my care at a time, and I'm hoping and I'm thinking that this one is a female, very slow growing and not very leggy, so I'm hoping so. So I hope I get to have a look instead of just popping in there. I want to be able to have a look if I can get her out on the cork bark and we can have a close look, because I know that when she goes in here she'll just go down to the dark bit and just disappear straight away. So let's have a little look at her if we can. First off, let's show you what I've done. So just labelled up there, quite a bit of substrate. As you can see, it's just holding a little bit of humidity in there, and the gravel layer at the bottom, so it creates that air gap and helps me stop getting mould. And then air holes all the way along the side, really big bit of cork bark, ink pot at the side, high level, another one there lower down, and that is it. And this should web up all around, and be able to sit out so I can feed as well, which would be really, really nice. And a little bit of moss on the bottom with some springtails in there. So let's see if we can see the spider. You can see she is well fed. I'm saying she, but fingers crossed, hoping that it is. But when you've got a load of these, you normally get used to seeing the size difference from males to females. The males grow really quick. Same as with the Cambridgei. I've got two that were exactly the same size, and it's just obvious one's a male and the other one's a female. So, and I'm normally right with those, so I think this is the same. You can see a molt, she's buried down in there, but hopefully I'll be able to pull her out on that cork bark, but I'm not sure. I reckon I pull that out, she'll just go straight down in the bottle. But I'm hoping she'll come out and just sit right there. So let's have a look. Right, let's plop that up on there. Take the lid straight off. Now, let's see what sort of mood she's going to be in. So far, she is on the cork bark. I'm going to have to destroy the web. It's actually quite strong, the web. It's stopping me removing the cork bark. Really strong. Let's get rid of that. Try and move it. Oh, there we go, it's coming back out. No, it's panicking. Here we go, yes, yeah, so it's definitely a good size ready to come out. I think you can see there. It's going to just dart up, I think. No, managed to get that out. You can see the coloration slightly, but can't get it clear enough. Definitely really, really fed well. Hopefully we can get clearer shot. Right, stand the bottle up because then it will give me time. Oops, just walking straight up. Come on there. That actually looks like it's going into pre-molt. That is so fat, so well fed. Really did well in that enclosure. And I've just got to be wary because these P. Irminias can actually jump as well, and they can jump a good fair distance, but there's no threat display. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera, I think you can, the orange is faded and the black is faded. This is definitely into pre-molt because it is normally more vibrant than this, but that means it's going to get bigger and it's going to be more vibrant as soon as it's malted. But that's still beautiful coloration. And as they get older, I'll put a picture there on the screen, you can see that the coloration, it just goes more jet black, and the orange as well, the flames sort of on the legs and feet, they just get more and more vibrant as the older they get. But you can see, like, my camera is in focus, but for some reason it's not picking up as well. I think it's the glare back off the plastic, and because the tarantula's looking like a dull greyish sort of colour, it's blending in. But no threat display, nothing with that. That is really, really good. Right, so you can see that there, it's on the other side. Don't know if I could just pick that up and move it across. Let's see if that would go. I know they can climb straight up the tongs. Move that out of the way. And then see if I can just get it to go across. Oh, nope. Nice and easy. Look at that, absolutely perfect, exactly where I wanted it to go. There we have it, look at that. Almost like orange hairs. Definitely in pre-molt, this one. You can see on the feet there, the orange flame coming through. Can you see that? Yeah, I think that comes out on the camera. And the more black and vibrant they get with the deep black coloration, than the orange pops. But I can actually tell this one's in pre-molt all over. I'd say this is literally a week away from molting, and then it's going to be some size, because there's been no aggression at all from here, no defensive displays, no slapping. So I think this is very, very close. So I'm glad I've done it actually now today, just so that we can get that in. That is so well fed. Definitely doesn't need feeding at all. Absolutely stunning. Right, so there we have it. Quick little video. I don't really post any of these sort of species that often until they get a bit bigger. I just look after them myself. People like seeing the unusual more often, but a lot of tarantulas go under the radar at the minute. And definitely this. It's so cheap to get as well in the hobby, and they grow quite quick, but it is definitely an underrated tarantula. Now let me just see if I can get that on without spooking it. And there we go. Clip that in. Clip that in. And there we go. And it's still at the top, and it will make that home for itself. So that was really easy to handle. I think I lucked out there just because it's in such heavy pre-molt, but because of the size of it as well, I'm not too bothered at the minute, because they go in display and they just get a bit skittish, but when they get older they definitely do demand respect. But there we have it. So Irminia, the Venezuelan Suntiger, a beautiful species. I recommend everybody at least get one of them in their hobby, especially if you get a female of them, and you just see how they develop. It's absolutely stunning. So hope you enjoyed that. Check out the rest of the videos coming up soon and see what I've got in store for everything. So I've got a few different bits and pieces, but I'll catch you on the next one.